Red lips are on, so I guess we're doing this. Guys, it's Tasha from Amazing Reads. I'm coming at you today with a middle grade book recommendations video. I was trying to figure out ways for you to know my reading taste, and I thought this would be a good way to do it, to show you just some recommendations from different genres over the next couple weeks so that you can kind of know what I enjoy. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the video. The first recommendation that I have for you all is A Witch by Nnedi Okorafor. They just released new covers for this, but this is based on African mythology. It reads right on the borderline of middle grade and young adult. The magic system is very interesting. It plays with the chosen one trope, and I just really enjoyed this story. I mean, I devoured it super quickly, and I devoured it super quickly, and I still remember a lot of what happened in this, and I haven't continued on with the series. I believe it's only a duology. Akata Warrior came out a couple years ago. I highly recommend this if you're looking for something that is diverse and a little bit different from the regular Arthurian fantasy and stuff like that. The next book I have is Inside Out and Back Again by Tahana Lai. I'm not sure if I said that right. This book is told in verse, and it tells the experience of a family immigrating to America, the American South, from Vietnam. And it just tells of her experience going to school in, I want to say Alabama. It's been a minute since I read this one, but it like I said, it's told in verse, and it's very interesting to see her experience. It's a great way to teach children about immigration and what it's like for immigrants coming to America, help them recognize some of their biases, how to approach things. This is really good. It's a really quick read, and I highly recommend it. This next one, of course, I had to have some Jacqueline Woodson on this list, and there's another author that I know for sure you're expecting to see on this list, but this is Brown Girl Dreaming by Jacqueline Woodson. This is another book told in verse, and it is about a little black girl who migrates from the South to the north of America, and it just tells her story about going back to the South to visit, family dynamics, all of those things. Jacqueline Woodson is such a prolific author, and her books always pack a punch. And I really want to get to all of her backlist because she writes in so many different age ranges, and I really want to delve more into her works because, I mean, this was amazing, and I totally remember this, and I think I'm due for a reread for it really soon. The next book I have is Ari Shah and the End of Time by Roshni Chotsky. This book involves Indian mythology. It's with the Rick Riordan and Presents imprint, which focuses on different mythologies throughout the world. And it's all geared towards middle grade students. Rick Riordan, the author of Percy Jackson. In this story, we follow Ari Shah, who unintentionally calls the death god and trying to impress her friends at school. Well, they're not really her friends, but trying to impress the kids at school. And she inadvertently calls this death god, and they go, her and a boy go on an adventure, and they it's crazy. They encounter different elements of Hindu mythology, different gods and things in Hindu mythology, and it was just so interesting. And I have the second book that I want to read really soon. I have a video idea surrounding the second book and some other books that I want to read next month, but I definitely recommend this series. It's a fun read, it's magical, it's interesting. Ari Shah really finds out who she is and figures out what she wants to do, so I definitely would recommend this Ari Shah and the End of Time for you to add to your children's collections or to your bookshelves at your schools. Now this next series, I love this series, and it did not get enough hype in my opinion. There are 3 books out in the series. I have the first 2 here, and it is Jack and the Geniuses. The first book being The Bottom of the World, the second book being In the Deep Blue Sea, and the third book, I can't think of the name of it right now, but there's only 3 books in this series. It's written by Bill Nye, the science guy, and Gregory Munn, and that's what drew me to the book initially, because I was like, Bill Nye read a book? I loved Bill Nye, the science guy growing up, and I learned so much. This book focuses on Jack and his 2 adopted siblings, and they all have been emancipated from their parents, and they're all living together. They come across a scientist's lab, and the adventures go from there. They take off. There's inventions, and there's robots, and there's just so much in this series that I just really enjoy, and the science nerd in me just loved every bit of this. So I definitely think that this needs a lot more hype, because it was just so good, and I loved it so much, and I wish they would write more books in the series, but I think we're only getting 3, so we'll see. But definitely Jack and the Geniuses series is a great one for kids who are interested in STEM and other sciences. It'd be a great addition to your classrooms, and I've been recommending it for a long time, ever since I first started reading it. Also, I have reviews for a lot of these on my blog, amazingreads.com. So I really think that I will, that you should check those out, and I will link the blog posts down in the description box so that you can look at them, because I have gushing reviews for the majority of these books, and I just absolutely love them. Middle grade is so much fun for me, and I love to escape into a middle grade, and I love to recommend them out to like my son and my niece and everything. The other author that I know you expected on here, if you've ever followed me on Twitter or seen me and Ashley from the Bookish Realm argue over whose husband he's gonna be. So this is Ghost by Jason Reynolds. This is the first book in the Track series. We follow Ghost, who has a rough home life, and he lives in New York. He ends up racing one of the elite track stars, and then ends up in the summer track program in his city, and there's so much to unpack in this book, and it's so tiny, and you wouldn't think that, but Jason Reynolds really has you caring about what happens to Ghosts in such a short amount of time. And I remember reading this in one sitting, and it's just amazing. Like, there's just so much to unpack in here, and Jason Reynolds is so good at what he does in telling stories and creating realistic characters. There's 3 more books in this series. I believe they're companion books that follow other people that we meet in this book. So I would really highly suggest this series, the Track series, the first book being Ghost by Jason Reynolds. The next book is a book that doesn't get talked about a lot either. I've seen some smatterings from middle grade readers about this book, but this book was just, it's like a middle grade mystery. It deals with an adoptive child, and it's just so good. And it is it's Greenglass House by Kate Milton. In this book, we follow, what is his name? We follow Milo, and his family owns this hotel type thing, and every Christmas it shuts down, and it's just his time with his family. But this particular Christmas, they've had a lot of additional visitors come, and so it just kind of ruined Milo's plans for Christmas break. This is more of an isolated, closed circle mystery, to use the term that books like Woe uses. And it was so good. It's a little creepy, but not too creepy, because even in middle grade, I'm a chicken, so I can't do anything too scary. But it was just so sweet to see the difficulties that he dealt with being adopted, and just trying to figure out and navigate life, and just being a kid and having his plans ripped up. And it was just so good. This book is so good. Again, I have a full review for this on my blog, and so I'll link it down below. But I just really enjoy this book. I believe it's a series, so there's other books that are out that you can go pick up. And I haven't continued either. I need to do a list of all the books, all the middle grade series that I've started and I really want to finish but just haven't. But definitely check out Greenglass House if you are looking for a middle grade mystery that has some other elements that are really good to see. Okay, the last book that I have is another book that I've gushed about, an author that I do really enjoy her books. She does graphic novels, middle grade graphic novels and other things. I have the second book, the first book being The 13th Goldfish. This is the second book in the series, The Third Mushroom. Excuse me, it's The 14th Goldfish. This is the second book in the series, The Third Mushroom. In the first book, we follow, what is her name? Ellie. We follow Ellie, who is a little girl who always has a goldfish from the beginning, and her goldfish lives for a very long time. Ellie's grandpa Melvin moves in with them. This is another one that deals with STEM and other things. Long story short, Melvin ends up becoming a 12-year-old boy, and they have adventures together, and this is just so good. This is by Jennifer L. Holm. This was such a cute series. It's only a duology, so it's The 14th Goldfish and The Third Mushroom are the only two in the series, and this was just, it was just so cute, and I just love the writing, and I just love the characters, and Melvin is absolutely hilarious. And this is another good one for kids in STEM. This would be great for reluctant readers also, because it is just so easy to read, and it's so captivating, and it's so silly, and this is just what I love in middle grade. Any middle grade that is just not too nonsensical, but just has, I don't know, just fun. I love science-based middle grades too. I am a science nerd at heart, even though I work in law right now. But this is just so good, and I highly recommend The 14th Goldfish and The Third Mushroom. Yeah, The Third Mushroom by Jennifer L. Holm. Well, those are some of my top middle grade books. I will leave my reviews on Amazing Reads that I have for some of these books linked down below. And also, I would love to hear in the comments some of your favorite middle grade books and series, because I'm always looking for more. I love to recommend middle grade to people. I love to, the initial reason why I started my blog was to just kind of be a resource for teachers and parents to pre-read books for kids. So that the parents can know the themes, because like I just figure everybody's not a reader, but you don't want, you want to be careful what you expose your kids to. Anyway, thank you so much for stopping by my channel again. I'm so excited, and I can't wait to make more content for y'all, and I will work to be less awkward. And thank you so much for stopping by, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.